Regardless of what happens in the Big Ten championship, Penn State is going to make the college football playoff this year for the first time ever, despite having 5 seasons with 10-plus wins since 2015, amongst the top in all of college football. You can blame it on the fact that there was only a 4-team bracket, or you can get to the root of the cause, the Nittany Lions' big game blunders, more specifically with their head coach, James Franklin, who was a repeat offender this year. Penn State might finally be on the verge of something special in 2024. No, probably not, be honest with yourself. James Franklin is a whopping 1-14 during his career in Happy Valley against top 5 ranked opponents. Today, I'm actually insane enough to be running you through all of those games and the drama that's come with Franklin's one fatal flaw. And at the end, I'll be answering the golden question: what is wrong? If you love college football, smash that like button and make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Very briefly, for those who don't know, how did James Franklin even make it to this position? He started his college head coaching career at Vanderbilt from 2011 to 2013, where surprisingly, the Commodores notched back-to-back 9-win seasons. From there, he upgraded to a job at Penn State, which also happened to be one of the most controversial programs in college football at the time. Remember Jerry Sandusky, Joe Paterno? Well, yeah, I can't fully explain what happened or I'll get this video taken down, but it was bad, and Penn State spent 2012 and 2013 with a bowl ban due to NCAA sanctions. 2014 was a fresh start, however. First-year Nittany Lions head coach James Franklin signaled the start of a new era, and he undoubtedly brought the team back to relevancy, but as I already explained and everyone knows, he let people down. Franklin's first crack at a top team was in 2015 against a number 1 ranked defending champion Ohio State. Yeah, that's a tough draw. Realistically, you couldn't expect much. It was his second year building the program after going 7-6 the previous season. Penn State lost 38-10 in Columbus. Ohio State's offense was led by running back Ezekiel Elliott and a quarterback rotation between J.T. Barrett and Cardell Jones. They dominated the game. In the same season, Penn State got screwed again, this time facing a would-be playoff team for 2015, Michigan State in East Lansing. Quarterback Connor Cook, I know that's an old name, went off for Sparty, 3 touchdowns on efficient passing numbers. But you could tell the future was bright with a young Saquon Barkley rushing for over 100. Final score, MSU 55, Penn State 16. Christian Hackenberg threw 3 picks and it was never close. This game marked the conclusion of the 2015 regular season, where the Nittany Lions went 7-5, then lost in their bowl game to finish 7-6 for the second straight year. It's 2016 now. There's a buzz around Penn State football until they lost against Pitt in week 2. So when they were going to face number 4 Michigan on the road in week 4, everyone knew their chances were slim. Michigan's defense mauled Penn State's injury-ridden offensive line, which was unfortunate. The Wolverines also rushed for over 300 yards, continuing their trench domination, and quarterback Wilton Speight was solid. Penn State could never find a rhythm, 49-10 Wolverines. Then, a month later, Franklin got his signature win. A 4-2 Penn State was unranked, facing a number 2 Ohio State at home. The Nittany Lions trailed 21-7 in the fourth quarter, but somehow rallied with a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown by Grant Haley, igniting Beaver Stadium. They actually came back and won. This game was incredible. Penn State also went on to win the Big Ten that season. Flash forward to 2018. James Franklin has pulled off back-to-back 11-win seasons, and fans now get the sense that Penn State should not only be competing in games against top opponents, but winning them. A whole different feel compared to the opening years of the Franklin era. This season, they were losing running back Saquon Barkley to the NFL, but keeping veteran quarterback Trace McSwirly. And week 5 was a top 10 matchup in Happy Valley between number 4 Ohio State and number 9 Penn State. Penn State led 26-14 in the fourth quarter, but conservative play calling and a failed 4th and 5 attempt allowed Ohio State to rally. A screen pass to KJ Hill scored the game-winning touchdown for the Buckeyes, and it was a heartbreaking loss, 27-26. In the same year, a 6-2 Penn State then traveled to face number 5 Michigan in Ann Arbor. This time it was not pretty. The Nittany Lions had only 186 yards of total offense. I know, total! That's a crazy number. Along with 3 turnovers, it was 42-7 Wolverines, pure domination. Picture this. It's 2019, late November. Penn State is 9-1, ranked 8th in the country, and if they win this game on the road against Ohio State, they pretty much walk into the 4-team college football playoff. But of course, it didn't go as planned. Despite an injury to Sean Clifford forcing backup quarterback Will Levis into action, Penn State kept it competitive. But turnovers and Ohio State's Chase Young, who had multiple sacks, proved to be too much for the Nittany Lions. 2019 proved to be another 11-win season where they couldn't win that one game. Oh my gosh, how many times am I going to have to mention Ohio State in this video? It should be a drinking game. This time it's in 2020, and to keep it real, Penn State was bad during the COVID year. The Nittany Lions had a losing record of 4-5, missing a bowl for the first time under Franklin. So of course, when they faced Ohio State with an offense of Justin Fields and Chris Olave, you can understand how it went. Surprisingly, the game was decently close. The Buckeyes scored 38 to PSU's 25. Finally, someone besides Ohio State. In 2021, somehow Iowa was ranked number 3 in the nation during the month of October. This was a fantastic time to be alive. Penn State controlled the game early, but lost quarterback Sean Clifford to an injury in the first half. Wouldn't you know it? Iowa capitalized on turnovers by backup Taquan Robertson and made a comeback. Same story for Penn State yet again. Look at this screenshot after the Nittany Lions lost on the road to Iowa. They return home to face Illinois. Yeah, they should get that game right. It goes into 9 overtimes and they lose. So I don't even blame them for losing on the road to Ohio State the next week. I would have still been grieving from that game anyways. I sound like a broken record. 2022, a top 10 undefeated matchup between Michigan and Penn State, commences at the Big House during Week 7, and to the agony of Nittany Lions fans, they decide to come out and shit the bed. Michigan's running backs Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards combined for over 400 rush yards. It was close at halftime, I'll give them that, but the Wolverines physically overwhelmed Penn State in the second half, winning 41-17. 2 weeks after the Michigan loss, Penn State welcomed in the number 2 Buckeyes to Happy Valley and delivered. No, they didn't deliver a win, but they delivered a devastating choke job. They led in the fourth quarter, but Penn State's turnovers, including a pick six, one of 3 interceptions by Sean Clifford, allowed Ohio State to score 28 points in the fourth quarter. Let that sink in. CJ Stroud went for 354 passing, and Marvin Harrison went off with 184 yards receiving on 10 catches. Penn State's only 2 losses in 2022 went to Michigan and Ohio State, making them 11-2 for the 4th time in James Franklin's tenure in Happy Valley, ultimately missing the playoffs. So there's no way this could happen again in 2023, right? Bro, I have to talk about another Ohio State and Michigan loss. It's too late now. I have to finish this video. If I knew the video was going to be like this, I just wouldn't have done it. Week 8. Number 7 Penn State and number 3 Ohio State in Columbus, and this game was all around ugly. Although Penn State didn't turn the ball over like they usually do, quarterback Drew Aller went 18 of 42 passing. I'm not good at math, but that's an abysmal completion percentage. That's gotta be like 40%. The Nittany Lions offense had trouble converting on 3rd downs, and Marvin Harrison went ballistic yet again back-to-back years. If I was James Franklin, I would have stepped down after this game. 20-12 Buckeyes win. A few weeks later, it was time for the annual Michigan loss, but this time I'll give them a break. This was a title-winning Michigan team. Per usual, the Wolverines controlled the tempo with their rushing attack and won 24-15. 2024 was finally going to be different. In the words of James Franklin himself, you can't have the ball inside the 5-yard line twice and come out with no points. Exactly, smart one. Penn State only scored 1 touchdown this game and 3 points in the second half. They actually won the turnover battle 2-1 over OSU, which was surprising, but still lost 20-13, and it led to some controversy after it was all over. By the numbers, James Franklin is 1-14 versus top 5 teams in his tenure with Penn State. 5 of the games we looked at were blowouts, and 3 of them were fumbled leads. Everything else was something in between. Penn State has not won a top 5 game in 2,964 days. Why is that? There's a few reasons. First, struggles with in-game adjustments. Franklin's teams often start strong but struggle to adapt as the game goes on. In close losses to Ohio State that we talked about, plus Iowa in 2021, Penn State had second-half leads but failed due to questionable play calling and an inability to counter opponents' second-half adjustments. And this has been a constant critique of Franklin, especially in high-pressure situations. Second, conservative play calling in big moments. For instance, back to the 2018 game, Penn State failed to convert on 4th and 5 late in the game due to a predictable run play, despite having playmakers like Trace McSwirly and Miles Sanders. This one is huge. Offensive line struggles, which has been exposed in big games against top-tier defenses, especially Michigan. How can you beat the big dogs in the Big Ten if you don't have the big dogs in the trenches? This has hindered both the running game and the quarterback's ability to make plays. This last one might be the hardest pill to swallow for some Penn State fans. We get it. James Franklin is a strong recruiter, but he's not a developer, and developing is more important than recruiting when you want to play at the highest level. Thank you so much for reaching the end of the video. I've been Saturday Shenanigans, your home for unfiltered college football content, and I'll see you soon.